All right, now we're going to look at some different ways that people subtract. So again, in class you had a worksheet, so you should have worked through this on your own just to kind of see how you feel about these different methods. But standard algorithm, so you can't take 9 from 5, so we ungroup 7, and in base 10 you get 10, so that'd be 15. Subtract, you get 6, subtract, you get 5, subtract, you get 5. So 556. And then again, that's the standard algorithm. So if we focus on place value, then we could do partial differences. Again, I might start like maybe a kid would, so they might start with their hundreds and subtract those, and then they would focus on place value and focus on that. That's really 80 minus 20, and then really 5 minus 9. And so they get, what, 500 from that. This is 60, and then this is, some kids might view this as a -4, but a lot of kids would view it as that you have to subtract 4 more, or you still need to minus 4. Probably they might combine those and see that that's 56 positive when you're done, so 556. Again, this focuses on place value. They might start here and say 5 minus 9 is a -4, they owe 4, 80 minus 20 is 60, and 600 minus 100 is 500. So you might see these reversed, but the process is focusing on place value. Another thing people might do is they might add on. So they might be like, well, what can I add on to get up to this number? So you're kind of building up to it. So they might be like, well, you know, if I use, let's see, 71 is going to get me up to 200, and then I just need, what, another 485 to get up to 685, and then they could actually add those. And again, some, you know, contexts make it more likely to do certain things depending on what the problem's giving you. Shifting both. So I might look at this as more, instead of takeaway, more as the difference between them, like the distance. So I might be, well, you know, if I move this guy up 1, it's 130. If I move this guy up 1, it's 686. So I'm just kind of shifting them both up 1, but the difference or the distance between them is still going to be the same. And so that might be a way for me to think about it. Base 10 blocks. So say you have 685. All right, and literally I'm going to do it with a block. So I'm just literally going to take away this number, and I might shift colors here a little bit. So I can't take 9 from this, so I'm going to cross off one of those guys and ungroup. And I'm going to get 10 because I'm in base 10. And I want to take away 9, and so I can do that now because I have enough. And then these are what I have left. All right, then what do I want to take away? I want to take away 2, and I have 2 to take away, so I'm just going to take away 2 longs, and I'm okay with it. And I want to take away 1 flat. So again, I'm just going to take care of it. All right, I'm going to erase this here because I counted wrong, and so we need to kind of fix that there, and I edited it, but for some reason it did not go away. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 singles. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 longs, and I have 5 flats, and so my answer would be 556 because I have 5 sets of those, 5 sets of those, and 6 sets of the singles. All right, so some other methods that we can use. Don't know that I want my pen that thick. After base 10 blocks, I could round with compensate. Again, it's usually hard to round both, so maybe just round one of the numbers. So if I look at this, you know, 685 isn't too bad, doesn't bother me. Minus 130, so I'm going to just round one number, and I'm going to subtract. And then I'm going to think like, well, I actually subtracted, what, too much? So I subtracted more than I should have, and so I need to add that 1 back in because to compensate for the fact that I subtracted too much. So kind of rounding with compensation. And then this method we kind of call the Australian method. I'm sure there's other names for it. But in this method, in a sense, you really are borrowing. So you can't take 9 from 5, so you literally borrow another $10 bill. And when you borrow $10, you get 10 $1 bills, so then you now have 15. So when you borrow money, you go more in debt, but you actually get the money for a moment in time. And so then I can subtract, and I get 6, 5, and then 5. So my answer is 556. What we're really doing there is we are shifting them both. So we kind of looked at that in class. But again, we're calling that the Australian method. Again, there's other names for that.